Hey there, Big Brother fans. It is Tuesday, June 18th. This is later in the day that I usually record these. I did not go to work today. I'm under the weather a little bit, and I just made a doctor run. Nothing that I won't get over, but just was a blah day. But I'm alert and awake enough to be able to watch some of the interviews and stuff today. I did watch most of the Jeff interviews last night using Flashback. And then today I've been watching some of the Ica interviews because those just got put out. I would recommend those. If you have to pick, go with Ica first, for sure. I'm trying to analyze this, and there's the whole core, attitude by a lot of people that Jeff just plain sucks at interviewing. But there's also a little bit in that his situation, they shove you in that diary room. They shouldn't do interviews in the diary room. It's dumb. Because you're sitting side by side facing the camera, and it's just an awkward way to interview a person. Ica's interviews are much more of an interview stance, where they're opposite each other, talking back and forth, and seem more comfortable. But of course, Ica's were also not live versus Jeff's, which were in theory live, or pretty close to live. So, but still, Ica's interviews are better to watch, in my opinion. And I tweeted out a link to the YouTube. I made a playlist just because I didn't want to go to ET Canada and have to dig for them if I'd forgotten, or have them run onto other interviews. I don't think they play in order. They just, you have to click, and if you do a playlist, you just say start playing the playlist, and it just ticks through all of them. So that's out there. I tweeted the link a little bit ago. We'll do our first show on Saturday where we'll talk about all the house guests. So I really didn't want to go over them too much. I wanted to talk about the house guests a little bit, but I do want to thank Ishara, one of my patrons. Oh, and I want to talk about all the patrons real quick for my CarCast. So let me. I'm in traffic right now. Ishara made made her own, I suppose, but made a quick house guest chart, which I've done before myself, but she was doing it anyways, I guess. And so she linked it to me and said, here's a chart with all the names and pictures, which is always helpful when you can't keep the damn house guest straight for the the entire season. Half the time I screw them up. I can't even remember half the people from last season at this point, but I can tell you a lot of the people from Big Brother 2 and 3 and 4, because those are ones that I would say almost more heavily invested in, possibly. I'm not sure. All right. So, what I wanted to do is give a shout out to my patrons. So, we have a Patreon account for the Big Brother Gossip Show, and I have a Patreon account for my CarCast, which is what you're listening to right now. And at this point, I set this up last year when a couple of people said, I want to give to you for your CarCast. What can I do? And I said, okay, I'll set up a patron. What the hell? And lo and behold, a fair number of people said they decided to donate, and they donated a monthly amount for almost a year now. It's been almost a year. Or maybe it was the end. Maybe it was August or so. I'm trying to guess based on, it's been about 10 months. Based on some people that have been giving $5. Some people have given $50 so far. So, yes, there are people that have actually given me $50 to talk to myself about Big Brother. And I appreciate you guys very much. And that's why I want to give some of you shout-outs right now. Or all of you that are current patrons, I would like to give a shout-out. So I'm going to click around here for a second to pull up my screenshot of my patrons. So bear with me while I click around and hopefully don't mess anything up. All right. Here we go. These are my current patrons. And the order is not in anything super particular. It's not alphabetical for sure. and a couple of them, I know them, or at least one I know by a different name, and so I'm going to use their other name, which you guys would know, those of you that come on to Periscope and stuff, or maybe follow me on Twitter and see me interact occasionally. So here we go. Here are my current patrons of the Big Brother CarCast. Blake, Eric, I'm not saying last names, Ms. Don Draper, Tara, St. Clinton, Becky, Ishara, there's Ishara, the one that made my little cheat sheet that I'm going to use at least to start here. I think it's Brenna, and Sue. Oh, that's okay. Well, all right, we'll just leave it at Sue this time. I won't say the other name. You know who you are. Kristen and Chatty. Sorry, I took a picture of my computer screen, and it's a little bit hard to read in a couple of places. But anyways, those are my current Big Brother CarCast, which again is this, patrons. Also my not Big Brother Gossip Show CarCast that I do episodes of. Like I did a 14 episode series talking about my trip to Cuba last October, where I told all kinds of stories. And I just got back from a trip almost 2 week trip to Italy. Last week I got back, and I'm not going to record a ton of stories about that, but I certainly will talk about it at times. I did talk about it a lot the other day on Periscope, because I had nothing else to talk about. So now, cast stuff. Let's get back to Big Brother, all right? I did want to give a shout out to those people, though. So, cast. So yesterday we got the full 16 cast members. They are all new cast members. So far there has been no amazing or major connection with previous season cast members. People have tracked down at least one relationship within the group, but they may not know each other is on it. I'm not sure. We're not sure exactly, but I will say that let's go through all the house guests, and I'll mention that relationship when I get to the first one that I get to. Now, the list that Ishara made for me is in alphabetical by last name. I usually do my list alphabetically by first name, and I'm not sure, at least one of these people goes by a different name than their spelling in their thing, so I'm not sure. I may change these things up eventually, but let's go with it as it is for now. So, Holly Allen. Well, there's actually a reality show connection. She's apparently dated off and on a guy that was on one of the Bachelorette shows, so she's got her tie to the reality world already. So she's not some newbie walking into this. She's going to be ready for camera and ready for reality TV, and I don't know if she'll tell stories, but she certainly has in the past. So I'm not going to give you any particular opinions of these people at this point, because I still haven't watched all their interviews. Plus, we're going to talk about them on Saturday. I may give you little hints, but not a ton. David Alexander, I don't have any opinion yet on him. I watched his interview with Jeff. I haven't seen his interview with Ika yet, but I cannot tell you much one way or the other. He didn't impress me particular one way or the other as far as his Big Brother acumen. I don't think he's a hardcore fan, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'm not thinking right. I need to go, like I said, I got to watch the Ika interviews yet, and maybe a couple others, or read some more. Nicole Anthony. So what struck me about Nicole? Now, she's the one I've actually watched the least of, because she was the last one in the Jeff interviews, and I was quite burned out by the time I got to her. And she's like the third New Yorker, maybe, or New Jersey, New York. I don't know. It's all East Coast to me, so those of you that are in the East Coast, sorry. But she's got a very strong New York, New Jersey area accent, and she looks like a nerd, but I'm not sure, and I don't know. But man, they got some strong East Coast representation this year. So, and as far as her, I don't know how she's the show. Nothing in her vibe particularly caught me, like, oh, she's going to be good, or oh, she's going to be horrible. Not much of a read one way or the other again. Tommy Bracco, or Braco, however you say it, Broadway dancer, and I am going to call out the people that may have, like in this case, Tommy's gay, so there's some people say, so who's the gay, we have the stereotypical people. So yeah, I said the nerdy person. Well, Nicole's kind of looking like the nerdy person, or at least one of the nerdy people. Tommy is the gay person, at least the male gay person. And so he seemed, he's been a fan. I think he said since Big Brother 14, and he's gone back and watched things. He's a biggest fan of Da'Vonne, which I found a little bit interesting, but nothing wrong with it. Just I hadn't heard Da'Vonne thrown out there as being, someone that's I know she has a strong following. Just had not seen people look up at her as their favorite that have been cast members before. They usually call out somebody that's either won or come very close to winning. Da'Vonne did not win, nor did she come close to winning, but she certainly had an attitude and was entertaining to watch. So I'm not sure about Tommy yet, but I have good feelings. I mean, I think he says possibilities. Catherine Dunn, I remember she's from Texas. She's very much she's done some TV work or something, like news TV work. She was the one who was talking about with Jeff. She was like social media influencer or social influencer or something. I don't know, man. She just seems a little bit too conscientious about what her perception might be. She seems like she's going to be too aware of the cameras, but maybe she will completely forget about them. Sometimes those people completely forget about the cameras and are play differently. So I think her interview, though, was hard to get a read on because she was very aware that she was on camera. Kemi Faknul, I'm not sure how you pronounce her last name. No great read on her yet either. I know she does follow a couple of Big Brother people. A couple of Big Brother fans. So I don't know if that was pre-research when she knew that she was going in. It may have been. I'm not sure. I don't think she's a hardcore fan. I think she's a recently, as in I was just cast. I better find out about Big Brother fan. So no deep read on her yet. Jessica Milagros, she's a plus-size model, which that's kind of interesting. Remember they had, what's her name, in Big Brother Over the Top was, a plus-size. I would say she was plus-size. She was in a rock band. They're finally getting a few people in there that are not your standard body types or your stereotypical TV show body types, which is good. So anyway, she seems nice. She's not being real up about her age. I know she's married and has a kid. So I don't know what she's going to tell the people in the house. I'm just having shades of the woman in Big Brother Canada that was just on this past season, which is the only season I've ever watched of Big Brother Canada. But she went in saying she was 29. She's like 41. It's like, don't lie about your age, man. Just tell people how old you are. There's no point in lying, because if you're lying about your age, people can figure it out and then they'll go like, what else is she lying about? So I'm not sure she should. Maybe she didn't say she was going to be. Maybe she isn't 40. Maybe it was the comment I saw was someone saying, remembering the Big Brother Canada comment. So no big read on her yet. Again, I still have to go back and watch some more of these interviews and take some notes, and I'm trying to develop my thoughts before we do our show on Saturday. Next up, Cliff Hogg the Third. So he's 53 years old. So he's the old guy in the house. There are, unless Jessica's over 30 or over, in her 40s, there's only a couple of 30-year-olds, mostly 20-year-olds, and then there's one lone person out in their 50s, and that is Cliff. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm either going to like him or hate him, I think. I'm just not sure yet. And then there's the whole question of how long will he last? His biggest props that he got, and we'll probably talk about it on Saturday, which I'm going to be honest here, I didn't understand the reference. So I'm going to turn in my Big Brother fandom card because apparently I should have gotten this reference immediately, but I just forgot about it. A couple of years ago when Josh was being interviewed by Jeff, Josh that eventually won, he asked some question about a mosquito. Would you rather get bit by like one big mosquito and never have to deal with them for the rest of your life? Or I don't even remember what he said. It was just one of Jeff's really awkward, weird questions, and it's like, really? Why are you asking this? What are we going to glean from this? And so, I don't remember what Josh said, and it really doesn't matter. The reference to this is that Jeff asks Cliff if he'd rather lose and be loved or win and be hated, which is Jeff's standard answer, which we were all sick of it. And Cliff's response was one big mosquito. It was like, I think Cliff was kind of saying, Jeff, your questions are stupid and there's no good answer here. I'm just going to give you a dumb answer to one of your other dumb questions. So a lot of us gave him props for that. Ovi Kabir. I don't know what his ethnicity is. At first, I thought he was maybe from India or something, but I think he's maybe from the U.S. And actually, his girlfriend, he just graduated from the University of Tennessee, and his girlfriend is still at the University of Tennessee. I only know this because she tweeted what account should she follow or what should she listen to and stuff, and somebody was nice enough to recommend us, to which I was like, no, it could go, it may not go very well, but just take that with, be prepared. But I did check out her profile, and she's still a student at University of Tennessee, and they had some videos of him. She had some Instagram videos of him too. So I'm not sure. He seems very well-rounded. Seems like a cool guy. Seems like a fun guy. I could be super stereotypical. I don't think he's Muslim. He didn't mention he was Muslim. But, I mean, the closest we can get, there's been a few, but Kesar, as far as being as a potential, if he's that kind of a fun guy, although Kesar was a bit intense at times. But I could see Ovi being a very popular kind of a character that people might get to know and like. We'll have to see. Nick is also another New York area guy, and Nick is a therapist, and one of our other Big Brother fans, I can't think of the name right now, but he's like, oh my God, this is my next door neighbor, and I didn't even know he liked Big Brother. So that was kind of funny. He didn't know him very well, so he didn't have much of a reaction on him, but it was interesting. I like Nick. I think it was Nick that I liked. He hasn't had a big sneeze button coming up. Hang on. Okay. I spared you guys one big honking sneeze. I believe it was during the Jeff interview early on, when he talked about his gameplay. Now, he said he's been a fan for a few years, but he specifically, and I'm trying to, none of these house guests have given me the impression that they've watched the live feeds. First of all, I don't think many of them have, although if any of them has, it's possible that Nick might have. And I only say this because, or else they were online reading about stuff. And I say that because Nick specifically made a reference to the fact that he would never just give up and sit around and eat cereal. And that was a reference to Matt from Big Brother 19. And I don't remember how much they showed that on TV. If they showed it on TV and did a segment on it, then okay, and they may have. Then never mind, Nick just was quoting from the TV. But I like the fact that he kind of threw Matt under the bus, like, I would never be lay down and die like that. That was just annoying. And so I kind of like that. The funny thing was, I don't think Jeff got the reference because Jeff doesn't probably follow Big Brother that much. He came out and did this interview. He won't pay much attention to it. Maybe he'll do the backyard interviews at the end. We'll see. I don't think he's doing eviction interviews. I don't think he's going to fly out from Colorado every week. Anyways, Nick has potential. Jack Matthews, the one that everyone's like, oh, it's Aquaman, the guy that played Aquaman. No, you know what? They've had the same type many years. And I can't think of their names right now, because that's what happens when you don't remember the names of people on the most recent seasons, but you can remember people on seasons 2, 3, 4, 5. Jace? Oh, yeah, I remember Jace. Oh, yes. Scott? Sure. No, Scott from Big Brother 5, Scott. Not the last season, Scotty. No. Anyways, Jack, definitely he's a recruit. Definitely was cast. He made a comment about when he got the call and said you should watch more Big Brother. He's like, I guess I should watch more Big Brother. That doesn't mean he won't be a very interesting, good contestant. So we'll have to see. He certainly is going to be eye candy for some people. I think it's going to be another one. You're either going to like him or you're going to hate him, kind of a thing. I don't know. I don't think if he comes in with his testosterone all busted up and ready to go, and tries to make a guy's alliance or something, or tries to get a couple women under his arm, it could go a lot of different ways, and we'll just have to see. I got 5 more to go, and my throat is getting dry. This is what happened Friday night. I talked on Periscope, and then I ended up with a sore throat. Jackson, I don't know Jackson's last name. Jackson's the one who's got a very square face. His interview actually wasn't that bad. He was all right in the interview. But I still don't think he knows Big Brother very much, and I'm not sure how he's going to be. He's definitely going to be rather opinionated, I think. We'll just have to see. I don't know, no big feelings on him one way or the other. Christy Murphy, she owns a boutique, or owned a boutique in, I think it's New Jersey or somewhere, and she's also either a lesbian or bisexual. I don't know which. Maybe I don't know. And I only know this is the weird one. I don't know if maybe it's been addressed in her written interviews somewhere. I have not seen her mention it yet, but people that did some sleuthing figured out that she used to date Tommy's aunt. So, there you go. There's the connection. There's the one connection of 2 house guests in the Big Brother house. Christy used to date Tommy's aunt. So, I don't know. Maybe it's Tommy's aunt who's not much older than her. I'm not sure. I have to pause right now because I got to stop someplace. I'll pick this up in a second talking about Christy. Hang tight, everybody. I'll be back to wrap this puppy up. All right, I was talking about Christy, but kind of lost my train of thought. So, I guess all I was talking about was the fact that she dated Tommy's aunt. I like her. I want to like her. I want to think she's going to be good. First, when I thought, she got a bit not spiritual, but she talks about saging people when they come in. It's kind of like, okay, I get shades of, was it Ashleigh? I kind of like, okay, whatever, but hopefully she's also there to play the game and not just be like, I just want love and happiness and everyone to get along and let me sage you. We'll have to see how it goes. But potential. I potentially want to root for her. How's that? Next up, Sam Smith, truck driver from Pennsylvania. That's what I remember. He's married and has 1 or 2 kids, I think. He seems like a really nice guy. I just have no idea. We'll have to see what happens once he's not paying attention to the cameras and how he's talking. No great read on him right now. He seems ready to play and seems to have a good sense of himself and of the game. So if that's true, maybe he'll go far. Annalise is the one from California, soccer player, played college soccer. Hard to get a read on her. Fresh out of college. So she may be the young one. She may be like 21. Maybe she's 22. I'm just thinking She says she can be ruthless, having played soccer and all this kind of stuff, but I just don't know. Not sure. Yeah, I'll have to tell. It's hard to tell. Hard to get a read just with her talking with Jeff. I want to see her with other people. She seems really nervous. I have a feeling she'll act differently once she's, well, we won't get to see them in the house until they've been there for almost a week. And so by the time those cameras kick on, I think we're going to see a completely different person than what we saw in the interview with Jeff. And I did see her interview with Ika too. So yeah, I think she was just really nervous, so I don't have a good read on what she's going to be like. And finally, Isabella Wang, and I mentioned some people's names. She actually keeps going by Bella. So I think we're going to be calling her Bella, not Isabella. Not sure yet. Only saw her interview with Jeff, and that didn't impress me, more because of Jeff's fault than hers, I think. So I'm going to wait and see what the Ika interviews are like. But none of these house guests really turned me off. None of these house guests gave me and actually I don't mind her now, because she seems to have a really good sense of herself and everything. But at the time, Rockstar drove me bonkers, and there were times that Rockstar could buy me bonkers. But none of them gave me that Rockstar when when Rockstar first did her interview. It was like, are you kidding me? What is this? And none of them gave me that kind of a vibe. None of them gave me a vibe just that made me cringe. So, yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to talk about it on Saturday's show. If I come up with more interesting tidbits between now and then, I will probably jump on and fill you guys in. But as of right now, that's what I got for you. All right? Sorry for my rambling at the beginning. But, wow, 26 minutes. Hope I've given you a little bit more. But as I said, there's another set of interviews. At least somebody told me to go watch somebody else's interviews. I got to figure out what the ones they are. But you've got the Jeff interviews. If you don't have live feeds, if you don't have CBS All Access, then you could check out the Ika interviews. I think the Jeff interviews eventually show up online as well. Then the Ika interviews are on YouTube. And someone mentioned someone named Christy doing interviews. That may be the radio. Is that the K-Frog? Is that interviews? I'm not sure. And I don't know. So we'll talk about it all in our first podcast on Saturday. Big Brother Gossip Show, 9 p.m. Saturday. All right? All right, I'm going to go try to get a little bit better. I have a bit of a headache that's come on while I've been doing this. So I must get better for Saturday. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Thanks for listening. See ya. Oh, yeah, that's it. See ya. Bye.